Now at 5, police arrest a man wanted for murder in Miami, Oklahoma. Plus, a Holocaust survivor tells her story to students in McDonald County. And
Senate negotiators could this week unveil their bipartisan border security deal. I'm Natalie Brandt with new details of the proposal and why there could still be an uphill battle ahead.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Authorities in Oklahoma arrest a man wanted for a murder in Miami. This is KOAM News at 5. I'm Tanya Bach. Miami police say that 34-year-old Travis Wilbur shot and killed 27-year-old Matthew Locastro on January 5th. Last Friday, authorities in Craig County found and arrested Wilbur. Officials say the shooting happened after an altercation between Wilbur and Locastro near 2nd Avenue Northeast and H Street in Miami. The OSBI was called in to assist with the investigation. Students at McDonald County High School today gathered to learn history straight from the mouth of a Holocaust survivor. Erica Schwartz lost her entire family, except her mother, during the Holocaust. Counting her blessings and focusing on them was her key to happiness afterwards, a key she wants to pass on to the younger generations.
I wish to God I had my family, but I have used that as a means to remind myself every day of how blessed I am.
Tonight at 6, Schwartz will share her story again. It is open to the public at the McDonald County High School Performing Arts Center. Well, Chief Meteorologist Doug Heddy joins us.
Yeah, it actually turned out to be a great Monday for us today. Sunshine has returned after not seeing it really for a couple weeks. And look at our temps. It's 60 in Joplin, 59 just outside of Pittsburgh. But everybody looks pretty good. Mid to upper 50s to near 60 degrees. And we're going to see pretty good temperatures throughout the week. All right, through the evening, sliding back through the 40s, eventually into the upper 30s later on tonight. But not a whole bunch going on outside. We look pretty good. And here's our weather over the next couple days. Not a whole bunch is going to be happening, and we are going to see really good temperatures. Much warmer this week, highs in the 50s and 60s. Rain increases on Friday. It says no Friday, I need to change that. And a wet weekend. So we'll be talking about all that here in just a bit.
All right, thanks, Doug. Well, the Chiefs are headed to the Super Bowl, and as a result, many fans are looking for new Chiefs gear to mark the occasion. But one store in Pittsburgh gearing up for the game says some apparel will look a bit different this year. They say official Chiefs playoff shirts and hats can only be found at big retailers such as Academy or the NFL website.
Unfortunately, the NFL and Nike no longer let the small guys carry the on-field shirts that the team wears for the AFC Championship or for the Super Bowl, that matter. So it's a little challenging for us to get enough items, and the ones that people are looking for, unfortunately, they don't let us carry anymore.
He says this is the first time in 40 years his store has not carried the shirts, but they are preparing others for Chiefs fans. Well, House Republicans have unveiled articles of impeachment to remove Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas, accusing him of violating immigration laws. It comes as senators are closer to finalizing a new deal to secure the border. Natalie Brand reports on the details of the proposal.
Cell phone video captured by CBS News of a little girl rescued from the Rio Grande near the border city of Eagle Pass, Texas, is the latest example of what both Democrats and Republicans call a humanitarian crisis. On Capitol Hill, Senate negotiators could this week unveil their bipartisan border security compromise months in the making.
Everyone's looking to be able to read the bill at this point.
Oklahoma's James Lankford, a top Republican negotiator on the deal, says it would give the president new power to halt border crossings when they surpass a certain threshold. The compromise could also raise the qualification standard for asylum seekers and speed the review process. It could also put limits on the president's ability to grant humanitarian parole to migrants, which the Biden administration has used at a historic scale.
If that bill were the law today, I'd shut down the border right now and fix it quickly.
The issue is at the forefront of the presidential campaign.
I'd rather have no bill than a bad bill.
Former President Trump is urging Republicans to scrap it, even as some of his allies are fighting to keep it alive.
From my point of view, we need relief today, and what we're trying to do will help him if he gets to be president.
While senators hope to move quickly on the deal that would also provide funding to Ukraine and Israel, already House Speaker Mike Johnson has warned it could be dead on arrival in his chamber. Natalie Brand, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
If Congress can pass a deal, it would mark the first significant bipartisan immigration legislation since the 1990s. Well, President Biden promises to respond to the drone attack in Jordan yesterday that killed 3 U.S. service members and wounded more than 24 others. The incident was the first deadly attack on U.S. troops in the Middle East since the war in Gaza began. The White House blames Iranian-backed rebels for carrying out the strike. Iran has denied any involvement. Still ahead, staying faithful to your partner.
A new survey finds many couples are keeping secrets about money. I'm Christine Lazar with a look at why some people commit financial infidelity.
And next in Health Watch, raising awareness of the potential dangers stemming from birth defects. Topping today's Health Watch, a new study suggests Alzheimer's disease may be transmissible in certain very rare circumstances. It found early onset dementia symptoms in 5 adults may be connected to a now discontinued human growth hormone medical treatment they received decades ago as kids. The 5 adults had growth hormone deficiency as kids and received pituitary growth hormones prepared in a specific way from cadavers. X-rays could one day be used to help stroke patients regain lost function. A scientist with City University of Hong Kong found in mice with traumatic brain injuries or ischemic strokes, low-dose radiation like X-rays restored brain activity and even reversed motor function problems. The radiation was administered within 8 hours of the stroke or injury. And it's National Birth Defects Awareness Month, and 1 in 33 U.S. babies are affected by birth defects each year. That's according to the March of Dimes, and while many lead long and happy lives, birth defects are the leading cause of infant death in the U.S. Michael George has more.
Amy DeSantis is the mother of 14-year-old twins. Her son Quintino was born with Down syndrome and a heart defect, not detected during her pregnancy.
You're shocked, the roller coaster of emotions, everything from fear, grief, isolation, and then you kind of take a deep breath. You find an inner voice to kind of persevere and figure out how can you give your child the best life, the life that they deserve.
A woman starts out with a 3% chance of having a baby with a birth defect with every pregnancy, regardless of underlying health conditions or lifestyle factors, according to the March of Dimes.
Birth defects are usually structural issues that arise usually in the first trimester, and they can be anything like a hole in the heart to a cleft lip or a palate. One of the most common is also spina bifida, which is a neural tube defect.
And while we don't know exactly what causes most birth defects, there are some things you can do before and during your pregnancy to reduce the risk.
You really want to review your history with your provider. You want to get on a prenatal vitamin, specifically folic acid, even before you conceive, but as soon as you are pregnant as well, to continue to prevent those birth defects. And it's really important to stop any kind of smoking, alcohol, or any illicit drugs.
Amy says Quintino has other chronic health issues, but he's thriving.
He has grown into a 14-year-old who does everything that his typical peered sister does. He perseveres through all of these challenges and these milestones, and he reaches them. He just does it in Quintino time, we like to say.
She wants other families to know there are resources out there to help give your child the best outcome. Michael George, CBS News.
Well, you can find more information about available resources at marchofdimes.org. We're learning more about illnesses that could increase a person's chance of getting long COVID. Doctors with the University of Michigan tracked COVID patients and found people with AIDS or B-cell cancers were more likely to experience longer COVID infections than patients with autoimmune disease or non-B-cell cancers. We remember and learn better when we write things down instead of typing them. That's the findings of a study from the Norwegian University of Science and Technology. They measured brain activity in students who were handwriting versus typing words. The students who were writing showed more brain activity in areas associated with memory and learning. That's why they should still teach cursive. That's a look at today's health news. A little later, it's officially tax filing season. We'll learn about a pilot program aiming to help people file.
Plus, it's going to be a much warmer week for us this week. We're going to look at that coming up next. Well, of course, it actually turned out to be a pretty nice Monday for us today. Temperatures were great. We went into lower 60s for highs, and we're getting close to wrapping up the month of January. But overall, it's been kind of a cold month. 16 of our days have been below normal, 5 normal, and 8 above. But the past couple days have been above normal, and we're going to see that trend as we go through this week. So we're actually going to get some pretty good temperatures. Here's a nice shot, Indigo Sky Casino and Resort. Indigo, of course, just outside of Seneca, Missouri. We have the clear skies. Temperature is still nice. 51 in Stockton, 53 in Neosho. Bonita at 56. Look at Chanute sitting at 63 degrees. We can go outside here, 7th and Rangeline, 60. West-southwesterly winds at about 5. Visibility, of course, looks good. And as we go through the evening, we'll slide back through the 50s, 40s, eventually into the upper 30s later on tonight. But not much is going on here. We just have a few clouds out to our west. We do have a wave, which is going to drop down right across the Great Lakes. So we'll pull a cold front through for us tomorrow. So a little bit cooler on your Tuesday, but a whole lot of nothing. So this is our weather as we go through the next several days. Then we'll start to tap into our next storm system building out across the Pacific Northwest. That system will start to change our weather up as we head into the weekend. Until then, we look pretty good. Let's go through time. A few clouds tonight, upper 30s to lower 40s by morning. We'll have partly cloudy skies. We will see the northerly wind tomorrow, so a hair cooler, lower 50s by noon. Then once we get into the afternoon, most of us 55, 56 degrees, 56 in Anderson, 58 in Miami. Yates Center up to about 57 degrees. Tomorrow night, we drop back again, mid to upper 30s for overnight lows, and then we get southerly winds returning by the time we head into Wednesday. That means we pop back into lower 60s for afternoon highs. So Wednesday is looking pretty good. Really every day this week is looking pretty good. We do start to get some clouds in here by the time we head into Thursday morning. All right, here's your day planner tomorrow, 37 at 7, 49 by noon, 55 by 4, high temp, right around 55 degrees. And if we go down the road, we can see our next storm system. So let's go into Thursday. Thursday looks good, lower 60s. By Friday, we start to get some showers developing, especially as we get into the second half of the day. And then rain settles in for Saturday. So here's 2 p.m. Saturday. Rain sticks around Saturday night and even into Sunday. And we could get some decent rainfall amounts, which would be nice. So from Friday to Sunday, a lot of areas could pick up maybe 1, 2, maybe even a little bit more than 2 inches of rain. All right, 55 tomorrow, 61 on Wednesday, 65 on Thursday. So it really warms up. 60 on Friday with those showers developing, cooling down a bit with the rain as we head into the weekend. But overall, looking pretty good to start out the month of February, which is just a few days away. Kind of crazy.
Yeah, like where did January go?
I know.
We froze most
we did.
of January.
It was very cold. It was a cold month.
Very cold. All right, thanks, Doug. Well, coming up, a new study shows just how many Americans are not faithful to their partners when it comes to finances. Topping today's Consumer Watch, the tax season officially opens today and the IRS is now accepting returns. The agency anticipates close to 129 million individual returns this year and says most refunds will be processed within 21 days. Now, the IRS does have a free file option for people with an adjusted gross income of $79,000 or less. And this year, there's a new software pilot program offered in 12 states called Direct File. It's open to qualifying taxpayers in mid-March.
Your eligibility for Direct File does not depend on your income. It just depends on the complexity of your tax return. For this first year, the more simple your tax return, the more likely you are to be eligible.
You can find out more information about Direct File and other options at irs.gov. Well, Valentine's Day is just a couple of weeks away, and it turns out many couples are being unfaithful when it comes to money. Kristen Lazar explains.
How long have you guys been together?
11 years.
12 years.
12 years. Oops.
Married couple Ted Toussaint and Hillary Reynolds may not be on the same page about everything, but they are when it comes to money. Are you always honest about your finances with your spouse?
Yes, I am actually. We both are. We've had to be really transparent.
A new survey reveals that's not the case for many couples.
We found that 42% of people who are currently married or living with their romantic partner have kept a financial secret from that person.
Ted Rossman from Bankrate says 30% admit spending more than their spouse or partner would approve of. 19% said they have a secret savings account, and 18% acknowledged having a secret credit card. Gen Zers are most likely to commit financial infidelity, followed by more than half of millennials. The numbers are lower for Gen Xers and baby boomers.
I think also the fact that people are getting married later is leading people to get more entrenched in their habits, and especially in two-income couples.
Rossman says honesty is the best policy.
I think you do need to manage money collectively, but you could each carve out a little bit of money from every paycheck that's yours and yours alone, as long as you've agreed on those parameters.
Rossman also recommends couples sit down regularly and go over the finances to make sure there are no surprises. Christine Lazar, CBS News, Los Angeles.
The survey also found sometimes people hide money because they want to save it and are worried their spouse or partner will spend it. Well, JetBlue Airways might be backing out of a deal to acquire Spirit Airlines. JetBlue says it might reverse out of a $3.8 billion acquisition of Spirit Airlines after a federal judge blocked the deal. The announcement came just a week after JetBlue and Spirit said they would appeal the decision. JetBlue said the deal could be terminated if certain conditions were not met. Spirit said in its own filing it disagreed with JetBlue and believed there's no basis for terminating the deal. A final check of the forecast is next. Up next on the CBS Evening News, an inside look at how U.S. troops guard against threats overseas. And then on KOAM News at 6, a Good Samaritan and 2 Joplin police officers help rescue a 12-year-old boy from an icy pond. Plus, we'll have more on the story of a Holocaust survivor speaking to McDonald County high school students. And the college baseball season kicks off this week. We'll hear from the Pitt State team ahead of the opening pitch. Stay with us for the CBS Evening News and then KOAM News at 6. Well, the FBI says a centuries-old painting has finally been returned to its rightful owner after it was stolen by mobsters decades ago. The painting is titled The School Mistress, and it's estimated to date back to 1784. According to court documents from a 1975 trial, the painting was stolen by mobsters from the home of Dr. Earl Leroy Wood in 1969. It was later sold, but it wasn't until 2021 that an appraiser uncovered its history. The work of art was finally returned to the Wood family earlier this month. What a story.
That's kind of crazy.
Yeah. Final check of the forecast?
Yeah, it looks pretty good. We're going to drop back into the 30s later on tonight. Tomorrow looks nice, a hair cooler than what we saw today. 55, 61 on Wednesday. Look at Thursday, 65 degrees. Then rain chances start to sneak back in Friday and into the weekend.
advantage of that Thursday. All right, well, thanks for joining us. The CBS Evening News is next, and of course, we'll be right back here for KOAM News at 6, and we'll see you then. Have a great evening and an even better tomorrow.